So, hi, Mark. So can we continue? Then
absolutely.
Then I'm showing you some key parts again of potentialism. Then it's a complete presentation. Okay. I know it's directly shown. So the idea of potentialism is to show a possible solution how to get out of the at least 16 big problems or crises that we have right now in the world. And yeah, as I've shown before, maybe a quick repetition, we have really many problems. So even the Pope is asking to adapt our socio-economic models. We have
Can you go back to full screen mode?
Okay. So we have this multiple crises, like from Corona to human extinction crisis. We need to improve by 6.2% a year, but are only improving by 0.9% to just fight global warming. We are getting far more frequent billion-dollar disasters, as here the days between $2 billion disasters show. So we cannot solve all these problems, and we only have less than 20 years to solve this. The biodiversity loss is extreme in sea and on our land. Yeah, we have a carbon vision tunnel, but have many other problems. And also, for example, in the United States, we don't even live longer. We die much earlier and have higher costs. So this concept is designed to have a solution for these aspects that nobody had a solution before, like no more need for wars, helping the earth, growing international and national inequalities, automation job loss problem. I think we are the only one to present a solution to the automation job loss problems, crime and corruption, societal sclerosis, mindsets, recessions. So it's even possible to avoid recessions. Monetary problems, so the US dollar and probably also the euro, they are going to collapse probably within 10 years because of the high interest rates and the exploding debts. So it will probably lead to a debt collapse if we continue like this. And this is roughly how they can be solved. However, this is a bit technical. So these are the 16 biggest problems. You see first 8 and then to 16, how they could be solved. It's generally about accelerating innovation and paying everybody ethically towards ethical goals or maximally ethical goals, developing strategies for everything powered by the best AIs and the best experts behind this, rolling out all corruption as far as possible, and paying people based on NBV, net benefit value, that they produce as person or as organization. Yeah, now I'm going maybe to some key slides. So this is the idea of backcasting, developing a vision that we want, and then determining the steps that are necessary to achieve that. So I'm jumping a bit. So we are right now in capitalism 5.0, and capitalism started roughly in the 1600s. And we have had several upgrades by legislative packages, so top down. However, the upgrade that I think we need now is to really minimize corruption and maximize towards ethical purposes. With strategic planning, no more agendas, no more hidden agendas of people, and ethical cooperation, and really efficient innovation to innovate out of the many problems. So it's not some wacky proposal of, for example, around resource-based economies. So there's many many stupid proposals out there, into many forms of socialism and so on. This is not one of these. This is really an academic proposal to upgrade capitalism, and discussed with around a dozen professors and around 100 PhD people or experts in the field so far. And I'm going to bring it out as a scientific book. However, it proves this is hard to understand for many people. So I'm also working with others on creating a dystopian novel that describes what will happen if we continue as we do now, our current trajectory, and how we could do better than a realistic utopian variant, possibly. That is easy to understand and grabs people emotionally, hopefully. So these are some key ideas or questions so far?
No.
Okay,
I'm fascinated. Please continue.
Yeah, so this is actually the core diagram of the key concepts of potentialism or PerCon Flow. This is elimination of crime and unethical work is a key element. And this is implemented by a changing of the reward function, meaning the wages, to societal net benefit value. And so this idea with NBV had some other people. I basically took the best ideas from the world. So I looked at around 50 other socio-economic models. What are their ideas? And basically picked the best ideas to bring them together in this new model. And so this some of these core parts come from other models. So this comes from NOPOM, for example, for no physical object money. And this also went into copiosis. And initially, I actually wanted to convince these two groups to just incorporate my ideas, and then my work would hopefully been done. However, they didn't want to incorporate them, and to not let it basically be forgotten. I decided to try to publish this model. So, and actually, for example, copiosis, they want to keep it legal, for example, to rape other people and to commit some other crimes, which I can't agree to. They have basically, there's some people had some bad experience with police, and therefore want to, remove punishing, or some parts of punishing. So that's a bit problematic, I think. So then, so if we only do useful things, then we can unleash a lot of time and money. Then that can lead to new practical solutions, products and services that really benefit everybody. Like right now, we have many fraudulent or rip-off solutions, and also most social media corporations turn our human psychology against us, basically reduce our attention spans and make us the product in that they sell our personal data. So what type of products we might be buying, how we can be manipulated, and so on. So we don't want any of this, but only ethical products and solutions. Then that can lead to further insights and optimizations, and AI is analyzing, proposing, and automating in all fields under expert supervision, various strategies. So right now from politicians, you don't hear many strategies. However, that should be the case. And since they don't propose strategies, they can hide their agendas in what they're actually doing. Because if they had to just implement optimal strategies, there would not be much space left for corruption in that. And that's one of the key things that is going to change. So then we will have optimized teams and organizations, a science-based political system, meaning that what is decided must be optimal or close to optimal implementing strategies. So it would not be optimal when having to make a compromise with other conditions, like not having enough money to fund everything. Then it would be a compromise between optimal science and what is financeable. Then we could have minimal bureaucracy and maximal automation. for example, through AI and robots. And there's another concept, what we do with the people who become unemployed, because they would get new jobs in research and development and in caring jobs and in other domains, like mental activities, happiness, and so on. So would have empowered autonomous self-contained individuals and teams, and this is how R&D would be done and far more efficient than right now. We would combine and restructure organizations to compete just on team level, not on organizational level, normally. And social support and focus on care professions, especially for the people who would otherwise be unemployed. And then eliminate poverty and with education, and thus reduce the causes of crime, and monitor people with cryptocurrencies or CBDCs. So it would be some monitoring, however, in fully ethical ways only, not an evil surveillance state, a completely transparent partial surveillance state, and just enough to eliminate crime and to follow the crime to where it's trying to escape. So the criminalization and selective monitoring then only of people who have become criminal or are likely to have become criminal, have better e-learning, all types of flow, that's also what's called flow, like optimized flow in goods and services, flow of mentoring and coaching, and especially flow state and mental training for each person so that they can optimize their performance. Then there's physical flow training and mental training, virtual flow training, and make people more productive and creative. And use that creativity to get to further insights, optimizations, and new products and services. And then there's basically assessment AIs that assess how well we're performing and then tax us and reward us, and make proposals where the society could be going from there. Our questions so far? So these are all key concepts. The rest is only peripheral.
I either have a million questions or none. I think right now isn't the time for questions. Right now is the time for me to do a better job thinking and understanding.
Yeah, you can then also later watch the recording and then
yes,
think again. Yeah, and then there's basically risks and problems of current capitalism. For example, right now we will lose around 47% of all jobs through AI and automation, and that was before ChatGPT. Now with it, we will probably lose maybe 70% or so, because at that time they didn't think that the jobs of academics might be threatened. They thought that robotics will make big progress. However, like large language models instead made big progress. And OpenAI is going towards AGI, as the recent leak has shown. And we have a rapidly increasing unequal wealth distribution that is going to hit hard soon. Even in the United States right now, the inequality is bigger than in France just before the French Revolution. so it's really threatening. So and how do we plan to prevent governance and people from becoming unethical? However, these are details. And it's actually right now so that 95% of the Fortune 500 companies already base, say, many or even most of the decisions on AI systems, especially, for example, creditworthiness decisions and job application or CV review decisions, or so many small rules decisions, and social media decisions or ad placement decisions. So really millions or billions of small decisions already being done by AI. So this is not so new as it might sound. And then I want to jump a bit to really focus on some key elements. Maybe this. So because I have too many slides to show them all. So this is a comparison of the classical capitalistic economy and the PerCon Flow economy. So what would change? These are the key elements that would change. So here we have unsustainable exploitation and thus growth. And here it would be, we would only be exploiting our unbounded sustainable creativity and get growth only through creativity. And thus so accelerated innovation and higher efficiencies. Right now, corporations actually normally don't want to be that creative because then they lose their old investments. They prefer to continue as they've been doing for the last decades, and to just continue making profits, not take any risk, not modernize, just continue making profits. That's what they typically prefer. And in this economy, it would become different, however, pushing them to become more innovative. And then we have many wrong incentives. For example, trillions of dollars are directed to manipulate or subdue each other. And are even useless or even harmful for the good of society. For example, speculation is mostly harmful. Marketing, sales, tax advisors, because they minimize taxes and society gets less taxes than. And actually, the richest people can minimize tax most. That's actually not fair. Instead, we would have no useless work for society because it wouldn't get remunerated anymore, maximal innovation and so on. We would pay people not by classical wages, but only by the net benefit value they produce and produced in the past. So a combination of the past and what is expected when they continue their current work. Here classically we have monetary unsustainability, and here we would move into sustainable monetary systems by disallowing interest and interest rates and disallowing speculation, except for innovating. However, there would be a special regime for innovation, and then we don't need the classical speculation anymore. There would no longer be elitist insights that then the super rich can abuse, but instead making the communities thrive. You would move from bureaucracy to unbureaucratic societies to AI-based automation. There's a discipline in AI called feature engineering or feature selection that can mathematically exactly determine what are the top N features or attributes that lead to a confidence of 99% for a decision. So we can replace typical forms with 50 to 100 elements that they ask about with 5 to 10 features that really count and are proven to count. And the rest is just irrelevant. And an AI can just ask these elements in a question, or people just upload a few PDF files of what the results are, and the AI can find it out itself. Also, right now, more than 90% of startups are failing, and that's the general average of 9 in 10 startups failing. And that's a gigantic loss. And then these people who failed are ostracized. That should be changed by removing all innovation hurdles. Yeah, and then there's many more factors like, so then we have the billionaires who manipulate people. Instead, we should move to completely fair business transactions, no prohibitions in case law, but instead extreme liberty. Yeah, there's not enough time, for example, to prevent and look into discrimination. And here, if AIs assess things, we can gently re-educate people and not have major elements gone unnoticed. We don't even need the biblical recessions every 7 years. We can avoid most of them if we don't make major mistakes. And there's an entire section on this. So this is not a shallow claim. It's a detailed section that's been verified by economists, so professors in the field. So inflation takes the value of savings away, and especially for poor people. We can minimize inflation, also deflation. We can, we don't need a priority on driving consumption to the extreme, for example, through manipulation. We can have a priority on preservation of nature, economy, monetary value, peace and product quality, and so on. Here we have right now big inefficiencies due to white-collar crime, speculation, artificial scarcity, and we don't want any avoidable inefficiencies left. Everything should be aligned with net benefit value, and that's the purpose of net benefit value, to remove crime and inefficiencies. We don't want planned obsolescence, but optimum design, less property, but property in excess to provide abundance. For example, in Switzerland, everybody who has a house on a lake must allow the general public to walk around the lake, even across their property. And similarly, one can allow more general access to things. Then we have an unrealistic hope for infinite growth and no plan B. And here in the new model, the growth would be driven by innovativeness inside nature's bearable limits. So embracing the donut economic model. Here we have repetitive labor for income, and we would instead mechanize, automate, and focus on ingenuity for new ideas. This works classically with scarcity and imbalance, for example, scarcity of apartments, so that rent prices go up. Instead, we would try to get towards abundance, balancing of needs. Here right now we have dispersed work with inefficiencies, and instead we would be creating and following strategies to get skills, passions, and work packages perfectly flowing together. So these would be the key changes. We would accelerate innovation. So from challenging and ideating to prioritizing, then prototype rapidly, change and improve, and scale appropriately, like startups, but on a societal level. Yeah, then another focus is on flow state, which is a state of optimal consciousness when we feel and perform our best. So that's our definition. So this first half is roughly the common definition that you find frequently. And we focus also on providing, so that this flow state should provide benefit beyond pleasure, while letting steam off. It's the mental state in which a person or group performing a suitable activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, enjoyment, effortlessness, loss of sense of time, while reaching near optimal mental performance. The flow state is highly personality dependent, falls into different classes with different triggers, and can be trained for optimal results, depth and length in each category. And we are probably the first and only to divide this into how it's being learned and exercised by these different personalities, different classes, and have found more triggers than others have found. And colloquially, it's known as being in the zone, as runner's high, or being unconscious in basketball, or being in the pocket for jazz musicians, or in the forever box for stand-up comedy. And it's part of positive psychology. And it's a scientific topic. The modern founder of the flow state science, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, defined it as a state between control of being happy and confident and arousal of alert and focused. And one can get from both states into flow, like from having control to letting a bit go, having a higher challenge skills ratio, for example, and then have a focused, happy state. Or from arousal to get from an alert state more to a happy state. Yeah, and it's really at the peak point with high abilities and high challenges. Or if one has less abilities, so one needs around like 50% of the abilities for a topic, and 50% challenge, one can start here. And then once abilities grow, one should also accept bigger challenges. And one can leverage that that to become up to 5 times more productive, up to 7 times more creative, up to 5 times more efficient regarding learning, memorization, and develop up to twice the work satisfaction. And the benefits last beyond the pure flow state. And then there's other types of flow, like good and service flow, traffic flow, economic flow. And this PerCon Flow is actually about optimizing all types of flow. Flow of innovative team members and so on. Flow of ideas. No, mentally, maybe I quickly show that. Mentally, we have a conscious mind, a subconscious mind, and an unconscious mind. And with meditation, here we can penetrate the border between unconscious mind of mostly beta brain waves to this subconscious mind of alpha and theta brain waves. And we can also do this with flow state and critical thinking and telling the subconscious mind what to ponder about. And then with top meditation skills, one can also penetrate into one's unconscious mind. And one can overcome psychological issues like negative self-talk, the thinking mind, temperamental aspects, personality aspects, by knowing about these aspects and actively influencing them and finding inner peace, feel incredibly powerful, have deep thoughts, life solutions, intuition, and so on. Get to one's highest self. Have incredible benefits and so on with these delta brainwaves. And how to achieve an optimized flow? So there are short-term actions like meditative, hypnagogic, or mesmerizing flow state. Then there's more supporting or preconditions that we enforce and improve with people towards long-term flow maximization and optimization. Then there's a path to develop mastery in one's field, again, enforcing and improving this long-term flow. And then there's different classes of flow state and capabilities. They should also be enforced and improved towards long-term flow maximization. And this all along the time scale, meaning one should constantly train and improve oneself in these directions. And there's a technique that we for now we call BOLMAPSO, due to this abbreviation, to reflect and seize more opportunities. That means to be open, listen like you're doing it now, be mentally active, then have a mentally passive process, meaning subconscious process and pattern recognition. Basically think over things, sleep over things, possibly hypnagogic flow state, possibly the flow state before falling asleep. Then recognize opportunities and seize opportunities, come to a new understanding, and again, start the cycle, be open, listening, and so on. And that's how I'm more successful in life and how I recommend others to be more successful in life. And there's actually a book out on a variant of this, and I'm in contact with the author of this. Then there will be certain job shifts from fake news, also these will be eliminated or less, and of this right column, these jobs, there will be more. So for example, we don't want fake news, unproven scientific content, speculation, fraudulent activities, military, police, espionage. We want to have less of all of this. Just parts of banking are not so much needed. The banks are mostly needed just for payment processing, or with cryptocurrencies, maybe not even that. And giving credits, however, innovation financing could be completely different. Most insurance jobs can be replaced. There could be a state-based insurance instead. Marketing and sales can be most replaced. Agent professions like real estate agents and so on can be replaced by objective information, meaning full market transparency, like what did it cost to build the house, what is a fair price to sell the house, and so on. Tax advisors, large part of lawyers' work, because contracts are hardly ever needed if everybody's paid based on results instead of the contract, and no rip-off through contracts, and being unfair in contracts, and yeah, eliminating not sufficiently net beneficial research or work. Yeah, if you look at most R&D, or say most academic research is not really useful for our practical lives, and also not some commercial R&D. And then simple and repetitive jobs, and this would all go towards efficient innovation, market and technology analysis to find where we should invest money to innovate, into R&D and engineering, into reviewing and approving project proposals. So for example, why do we have such a big competition for grants? Why can't we combine the best grant proposals and have a synergy of them? That would be much better for society. Yeah. Then social, educational, psychological, and medical professions would be upgraded, and we have more of them. Because right now, people have difficulty getting psychotherapy or psychological help, and life enjoyment relating jobs, entertainment, wellness, luxury, and so on. There we can create many new jobs that are affordable. Yeah, no more misdirective incentives, or as the saying says, tell me the incentives and I'll tell you the outcome. So we need better incentives. Less risks and speculation, addressing inefficiencies, and avoiding things like debt collapse, recessions, crime, corruption, suffering, psychological problems, discrimination, and so on, unemployment. Capture big opportunities like protecting earth efficiency, minimizing bureaucracy, faster creation of wealth and prosperity by focusing on what is most efficient, and creating strategies towards an maximally ethical high-tech future. Have little lawyer costs in automating much of this, and everybody should be able to reach their maximal potential and live their optimal life. That's why it's also called potentialism. To reach one's maximal potential for society and each community, each person. Yeah, these are some key concepts. So it would also pay a universal basic income so that people don't have to steal. However, incentivize them or gently push or nudge them to do some beneficial work or to innovate. So this is based on Larry K. Mason's NOPOM in some parts. And I'm in contact with him. And yeah, competition takes place on a team and not a corporate level. Some other key concepts. So most things would be analyzed and strategized by AI systems. Experts would correct them. And then it would mostly be around synthesizing sub-strategies on a societal level or on a corporate level. So what is the best combination of strategies? Which trade-offs must be taken? Which compromises should be taken? So in society right now, we hardly ever talk about trade-offs and compromises, and hardly ever talk about strategies. However, that should be the core, I think, because that leads to optimal outcomes. And right now, since hardly anybody talks about these, they can hide corruption and hidden agendas in these suboptimal solutions or very inefficient solutions that we're pursuing right now. So then some other, yeah, for each service or product, we would only have a limited number of teams so that there's no over competition, just a healthy competition. And towards innovation and not towards race to the bottom, as we sometimes have today. For example, regarding the work conditions, there's often a race to the bottom, especially in third world countries. We would have a big visual wiki to make everything basically transparent. And if you want to buy a product, you would have a perfect product comparison or service comparison in that wiki and can make all decisions from that. Yeah, we would have some punishment or consequences for unethical behavior. still crime investigation. That's where we disagree with Corpiosis. We would be challenging and encouraging people, and a liquid feedback-like system for political opinions in voting, and especially political strategies. The legal system would be roughly the same, however, with expert judges. So right now we already have a shortage of judges, and there's many bad decisions made in lawsuits. That should be minimized. Support for different team structures and types of teams in leadership and cooperation practices. Essentially, the Netflix model, and there's a book out, No Rules, about the Netflix model with several improvements. Would have upgraded governments where it's only allowed to decide among different options with roughly equally good outcomes. So it would be illegal to just vote for a corrupt solution. That is bad for the society. Smaller parliaments based on AI and experts, and hardly any effort would be required for contracts, non-violent communication, donut economics, and we have a transitioning concept. Then the detailed concept, how the net benefit value will be calculated, how we fight corruption, how we get to objective decisions, how we address the root causes of crime, like with UBI, and aggravations, how to stop crime, how to avoid recessions. However, there are entire book chapters on this, how to avoid recessions. So it's not just a presentation. Empowered individuals and teams, adjusted types of leadership, like similar to Netflix. And AI systems to strategize it. Here, the concrete AI architecture, the SOC architecture from Security Operations Center to avoid cybersecurity attacks. The WF thinks the big cybersecurity attack is the biggest risk right now. And then we have different mega trends in AI, and we embrace basically AI trends, AI ethics, and governance, and how we endorse it. And how we deal with AI developing consciousness, embrace DAOs, distributed autonomous organizations, all these techniques for human cooperation, political system, practical R&D, and so on. And we can try this out in the metaverse or in DAOs to check if everything works. And we have this contest paying up to $1,000 for any major flaw. So that's it. Any questions so far? We nearly have run out of time. Otherwise, I'd like to get your feedback. And we think about maybe demonstrating it in a game. And so it's basically this technology ecosystem. So what do you think? Embracing exponential technologies and the 6 capitals frameworks, that's maybe important. So financially, we would embrace these 6 capitals. We would also include human capital, social and relationship capital, and natural capital. So if exploiting these would not lead to profit in the new mode. And here you always find the source. And you can get access to the presentation. Any opinion, first thoughts? Otherwise, we can have another meeting and discuss things.